storytellers with sound.
I can't sit in silence. There has to be music, and it pushes me to do things that I probably would never have considered doing before.
Hello everybody, I am DJ Loch Nessie, and you are tuning into the man behind the music on KGUR radio station on the beautiful campus of Cuesta College. We are live here with our very special guest, exclusively Tawnted, who is popular on TikTok and has a very fascinating backstory that we're going to dive into in a second. If you want to introduce yourself, you can now.
Hello, I'm Tawnted. Thank you for having me at KGUR Radio. I'm very honored to be here.
Oh, well, it's an honor to have you here. We're just very excited. And we actually recently got your submission Unwell. We already had it on the database, I realized. I guess they were just really eager to play it. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Wonderful. I'm doing super. It's such an honor again to have you on the show. Graciously, our DJs have actually played you before, which is wonderful. And so diving into the questions, I want to know, how did you get your start in music? Like, what was the story behind, like, because I know that you're so multi-talented, and you said you do it yourself, and also you're self-taught. Impressive. Tell us all about it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I started when I was about 10 years old. I was obsessed with a video game called Guitar Hero.
Oh, nice.
I was embarrassingly good at it.
Well, there's no embarrassment being Guitar Hero is one of my favorites. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. And then I was like, oh, well, I guess I could just turn this into real guitar. I'm sure I'll be really good at that. That's not how it works at all.
No.
But that is what got me into guitar. And then from there, I learned a little bit of piano, ukulele, and drums. And when I was 20, I learned how to record and produce and mix, all just from YouTube.
Oh, really? So, wait, so you mix things yourself. What program do you use? Do you use Avid Pro Tools?
I use Logic Pro.
Well, there's no shame in that, especially when you're just starting out. If I recommend, because I am a licensed recording artist, sorry, I was playing lipstick. Sushi Glow, the bloody tints are absolutely amazing. But I've got my certification in recording arts and audio production. Again, I've been in radio for a few years. You'll see musicians, they're sponsored by Adobe. In reality, you should invest in using Avid Pro Tools, because Avid Pro Tools is the original. It's what they all want to be, and if you put that on your resume, you get a job anywhere. It's very impressive. So if you want to increase your repertoire, do look up Avid. It is kind of expensive, but if you're a student, then you can get a discount. And so I teach my DJs on Avid, but sometimes they like to take a little laziness and use Audacity, but it's no shame in Audacity either. So, but it's so impressive that you taught yourself how to use these programs. Now, do you use MIDI? Is that something you do?
I use MIDI. I have a keyboard, but mainly I write on acoustic guitar, and then I'll use like electric guitar for like some flair, some vibes, and
That's
then
cool.
and usually chop up beats and stuff like that.
That's nice. And so, was it difficult for you to do that at first, or were you just like a natural, like a prodigy?
No, at first I thought I was like, wow, I'm amazing, and then I was not.
Oh, well,
So
what I used to say to people is that it's kind of like in Ratatouille, anyone can cook, anyone can be a musician. It's just about training yourself, and it doesn't mean you're a good musician, but you are still a
true.
musician. And considering you've released how many albums now? How old are you?
Oh yeah, I'm 27 now. I
Oh,
think
27. I'm
I'm on.
26. I'm
Oh,
I'm
cool.
turning 27 next year. Oh, God, it's scary being
Yeah.
27, huh? Must be
Yeah, I'm almost
very.
28. I feel old.
Oh, no, don't feel old. I did an interview with Andrew Paul Woodworth, and he is in his 50s. And he told me that I'm a baby. I'm literally so young. And when I'm 50, I'm going to feel old. But right now, he was like, I remember being 26, and I thought I knew everything. But,
Mhm.
especially because of COVID set us back. You are not old.
True.
And it's also never too late to get your start in something. I'm so happy that you did it young. So how old were you when you say you'd release your first music? And also, I want to know your journey through TikTok. Did you start
Yeah.
did you start posting it on TikTok and then you got it on Apple Music and things like that, or did you like release that stuff and you promote it on TikTok? What's the story? Like, what made you decide to go to TikTok as a medium?
Yeah, so I started releasing music when I was 21. I released an EP called Monster in the Sea that I've now taken down years later because I was like, wow, I really thought this was so good. And I look back and I'm embarrassed because
Oh,
not
don't
really at
worry
the
about
writing,
it.
but
It's probably
the
amazing.
production.
I don't doubt that it's amazing.
Yeah, I left it on YouTube because there's definitely people that like it, and I think it's on SoundCloud and everything,
Oh.
but from there, yeah, I was always doing the whole TikTok marketing thing just by trying to promote my own music on TikTok. And it took me like 3 years to get 20,000 followers, I think. And then one video blew up overnight and I got like 100,000 followers in one day from it. And that
Wow, which video was
changed my
that?
life.
Which video
My
was
Trader
that?
Joe's video,
What
the
was it?
Trader Joe's. So
Oh,
during COVID, I worked at Trader Joe's.
what happened in that
And
video? Tell the audience because we don't know what you're talking about.
yes. So I started to do this thing where I was releasing one song a month, and it was only like 3 or 4 months in when I was realizing like how well it was working. Like every time I was releasing the new song, it was like the following was just like getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then um, there was a record label in Europe that reached out to me and was like, "Oh, we want to sign you." And I was like, "Wow,
Wow.
that's so crazy." I'm just like some random kid in New Jersey.
Hey, you ain't some random
um,
kid if you got signed by a record label just by posting something. That's clearly
yeah,
means you're special. I mean, they could have signed anyone. They chose you. So,
yeah, true. So then I was still working at Trader Joe's, and I
huh.
asked my boss, I was like, can I make a video while working and explain this story? And he was like, no. And then I asked again, um, just because I was like, I really want to. I was like, please just don't get me in trouble. And then he was like, well, you didn't ask me. So then I was like, okay, that's a yes. So then I made the video. Um, and it was just about how I was working at Trader Joe's and pursuing music, and that there was a record label that was going to sign me, and I thought I was going to sign to it.
Mhm.
Um, and then that video got like 1 million views in a day or two, and that made me be able to quit Trader Joe's, and I've been
That's great.
doing
So you
I'm
support yourself now.
yeah,
Is that true? You support yourself.
yeah, I'm very
Whoa.
lucky to be an artist that can do that
Look,
right
hold on. I didn't know I was dealing with a celebrity. Hold let me.
now.
Okay, so that is absolutely insane. Now, we're not sponsored by Trader Joe's, but we did mention it on air. It's okay.
um,
It's okay. Shout out
it's
to Trader
actually
Joe's.
they don't do any marketing, and there was people saying like, oh, they need to sponsor you, you should be in a Trader Joe's commercial, but they don't do any commercials or anything like
Yeah, I
that.
honestly have only heard of Trader Joe's by people that shop at Trader Joe's. I've never seen an actual
Yeah.
ad for Trader Joe's. That's absolutely insane. I just realized that
Mm,
it's not something I think about. I don't really think about Trader Joe's on average, but
yeah.
anyway, so that's insane. And so, would you say you were 21 when that started happening, and that was roughly during COVID? That was around about before COVID, huh?
So I was 21 when I started releasing music, but it was like 3 or 4 years until I actually hit and that happened. So I was like 24, I think, or 25 when that happened.
Interesting facts.
Like
I
the oldest.
actually, what you were a song request. Your music was a song request a few years ago, and what ended up happening was I was just like, all right, well, I'll download it. Like I YouTube MP3'd it, but then people really liked it so much to the point where I was like, who the hell is this? Who is this? And then I found your TikTok. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, you got a significant following. So we kept playing your music, and then I followed you, and now we're here. But do you are you played by other radio stations? Are you like actually actively played? Because we're a no playlist radio station, which means that you'll get
Mm.
paid But we're not bought out by the record labels, forced to play what they want us to.
Yeah, I was getting that vibe from your station. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's actually we're one of the only ones left, and other radio stations are just like, dude, I wish I was you, because they actually, by law, have to play a certain playlist. We're
Yeah.
the only ones that does we don't have to, and so like they have like the new releases from like Taylor Swift, Capitol Records, and
Mhm.
Atlantic Records, and we don't just play anyone. We play things that people want to hear, otherwise nobody would listen to
Mhm.
us, right?
Yeah, I think that most listeners don't know that major labels with all these artists pay like millions of dollars for radio
Oh
campaigns
yeah,
so that their
you have
songs are
no idea.
overplayed.
It's so shady. And you know what they told
Yeah.
me when I first started here? The reason why is because um when you hear a song over and over again, you're like, eh. But it'll eventually grow on you. You'll see these
Yeah.
CDs back here. Actually, we are one of the radio stations that is given these from the Capitol records and things like that. The record labels will send stuff like we have Audio Slave, Green Day, and all of them. Back in the 90s, that was your only way to promote your music because you can do it online.
Mhm.
So they'd send it to radio stations before the album's release. So these Green Day albums that we have back here, we have so many albums. It was the first copy of these. And so I can't say that we don't do that. We do play what this record label send us, but we have the choice of doing that.
Yeah.
And so over time, like, because we have a lot, but we don't get as many physical copies anymore. They email it to us, but they don't have us in a chokehold.
Mm.
So we can play your music, and honestly, you're gonna be one of the artists that they want to play one day, and I could tell, which is why you're here.
Thank
And
you.
so that I can't really say that we don't, because we are gonna
Mhm.
have to play some things from record labels because they're our partners.
Yeah, no.
But
Obviously, of
some of
course.
these are the first copies. Now, that also brings me into the next question I wanted to ask is: do you release them on vinyl? Do you release them on? Do you release physical copies of
I
your
have
music?
not done that yet. I would like to. I've only heard that it's hard to do and it takes like a year to even get the order in. I don't know if that's true.
Well, it
Um,
really depends on who you know. If and
mm,
it is difficult, but um, artists like Chaperone blow up and then they release vinyls over like the
mhm.
course of like a 3 week period. Depends on how many you
Oh,
order. But for the big orders, like if you're releasing like 300 copies, exclusive copies of Tawnted and your recent album, can you tell us what the name is? Tell the listeners what the name of your recent album is.
oh, the most recent one, it's the letters TWTD. It's pretty much taunted, but shortened.
Oh, so that's your self-titled album. Do you have
Yeah,
another
I
self-titled album or is that just the one?
no, I don't have another self-titled album. I guess yeah, I could call this self-titled, I guess. It's almost in between because it's not exactly spelled like taunted.
Usually musicians like to, because they don't know who they are anymore. They don't know who they are yet. When they're first starting out,
Hmm.
they release their album and it's self-titled because they're still defining their style. You've already defined your style. How'd you find it?
Yeah.
So is it just who you are?
Yeah, I guess I started mainly doing like almost poppy singer-songwriter stuff, and then when I kind of started to dabble into like rapping and a hip hop vibe, I realized that I have so much fun with that, and that also my listeners love that more than anything else I release. So I lean heavily
Yeah.
into that now, but I still do like pop and other genres too. But I find the most fun with like the rap singing vibe.
Yeah, I want to know if you release music for the listeners that and the demographic that you already have, or are you looking to branch out in the future to other genres?
Yeah, I'm definitely looking to do both, I guess,
Hmm.
because I
Okay.
release so much music that like with say this song I can do I'll be like, oh, this can be pop or this could be almost acoustic or this can be hip hop. Like
Yeah, absolutely.
I just do whatever the vibe is of the day.
That's great. That's great. And so you don't really care. You just release whatever and they like it. That means that the person you are is just so charismatic. You captivated so many people. Now, the videos you've released, I glanced at it, but I did see that you got quite a few. How did it feel to finally reach that level where you got 1 million views on how many videos? How many
Mm.
videos in total, even the ones you've taken down?
Oh. Yeah, I don't know.
No,
I
he
think
lost track, guys. We're dealing with a real celebrity here.
no,
Oh
no.
my gosh, we got a big deal coming through. Well, that must feel exciting. That must feel so
Yeah,
exciting to be able to be at that level. How does that feel?
it feels really cool. I feel lucky. Okay? My TikTok says like 6.7 million likes on it. That's what it is.
That's
Um,
insane. Man, I don't even have it up. I should, but
no, I just had to pull it up because I was like, I don't even know what it's at.
well, that means that you are confident in your success to the point of where you don't have to focus on numbers anymore, which is already impressive itself. And they're all there, not for Trader Joe's, but for your music. Is that correct?
True. Yeah, I
That's
think
that.
most of my listeners now don't even weren't even there at the Trader Joe's time.
Really? So
Yeah.
what would you say your debut into the sphere of being a creator online as a recognized person, TikTok and Instagram? What would you say the video that did that was like the one that like
The video that did that was the Trader Joe's video.
well, what about the
Uh,
when it comes to music? Let's forget about Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's doesn't deserve
well,
you.
well,
You're too good for
well, the
Trader Joe's.
reason that that video was my debut was because I was promoting a song called Start a War, and that
Mm.
made like my biggest song at that point maybe had like 100,000 streams or something, and then that made that song get a few million.
That's
So that
cool.
that
Oh my
was
gosh, that's absolutely insane.
yeah.
Wow. No, that you must feel like the man. Now, as a couple other questions I want to ask in that regard, but before I ask those, what was the video that you said that you'd say after the Trader Joe's, the one that you would post like as Taunted himself? What would you
Hmm.
say that video was? The one that you feel like people like you for you?
Maybe I have a video with the song Band-Aid where I'm kind of just doing like a little lyric explanation of the double meaning behind the song.
Mm.
And that video, it probably only got like, well, it's still a lot of views, but it's not in the millions. It was like 300,000. Um, but that there's always like conversion rates, right? Like if I'm gonna make a stupid video that's like funny or something and it gets 5 million views, like that happened once, people aren't
Mm.
gonna listen to my music more because of it. And so I
Uh,
don't really care about going viral for a meme. Like I'm trying to have people listen to my music anytime I post a video. That's pretty much the goal of it.
Yeah, wow. That
Um,
you have your head set exactly where you want, and that's absolutely
yeah.
admirable. And so you don't post anything willy nilly. You don't just like this is you actually like this is who I am if this is gonna represent me if I'm gonna post it.
Yeah, for the most part, I just view my social media as like this is so that people listen to my music. That's the point of it.
Now, this is when I ask the big question. So, Band Aid was the first song that we played here on KGUR. I bet you didn't even know you were played by the radio somewhere at the time. But I want to know what is the story behind Band Aid because the lyrics for Band Aid are just so, if you don't mind me saying, angsty. Because
Yeah, no, man.
this very dark, like energy that you have when you sing it. Where did that come from? Who was the person that made you feel that way? Tell us about it right now. Let me pull up the
So
lyrics. Go ahead and tell us.
yeah, so the song Band-Aid, I feel like sometimes when I'm writing, like writing a song feels like a therapy session in a way, and
Mm-hmm.
Band-Aid was definitely one of those songs.
Mm.
It
Ooh,
feels like
nice.
an angsty breakup song, but the double meaning is that it's not actually about a person. It's written as if like I could personify depression as a person and then make a breakup song against that. Um,
Crazy.
so I wrote it in a way that has like a double meaning to be more, I guess, likable to the average listener, but really the double meaning behind it is that it's written about depression pretty much.
The double meaning. Elaborate on that a little bit because what I'm hearing is that you are with somebody and you don't want to get this attachment because you don't want to let them in
Mm.
to because you want to be able to detach yourself pretty easy. You don't know if you're going to stick around very long, like this will,
Yeah.
like I this is screaming I have baggage. And so that's what I'm getting from
Yeah.
this, but this person like jumpstart my heart it's already dead
Mm.
captivating. Band-Aid type of parting of our ways. Once I rip you off my skin, I could breathe again today. Now,
Yeah.
that song, with the way that you say it, makes me feel like it is it's left up this undecided to the listener on whether or not you actually ended up breaking up with them. Did you? Who is the
Hmm.
person behind that, or was there a person, or is this
There
a
was
hypothetical?
there was there was not actually a person because the real
Really?
yeah the real
Oh,
meaning is it's a breakup song towards depression, but I wrote it to make it seem like
that's
it's a breakup song
insane.
towards a real person. So like if I'm gonna explain, say like verse one, it almost has a lyric that might seem like raunchy if you don't know that it's not even about a person. So like
Mm.
so the what is the lyric? You're in charge every night, just like my iPhone. Which, first
That's
of all,
cool. I
that's a
did
baller.
like that. That hits people pretty hard. Now I want to
Yeah,
see, like, cause,
but
um,
if
do you have a music
so,
video for that? No,
I do.
you
Yeah.
do.
Hmm.
How well did it do?
It didn't do well at all. I feel like the secret behind music videos doing well is when you release it, pay for it to be marketed, and I just don't do that because I don't have a budget for that.
It's not. Oh,
um,
okay. So Frozen comes up. Yeah, I mean,
mhm,
I guess it's still. I'm gonna say for some others who are starting out for the first time, 2K is very impressive. Your recent one,
mhm.
because like the stream itself on YouTube here has 27K views. But
Yeah.
your recent one also has around that. Oh, one of these has 83K. So if you combined all the success that people have in regards to YouTube, you probably have
Mhm.
over 100K, maybe more than that. Now,
Yeah, on
it's
Start of War, I think I have
interesting
150K.
that no, wow, that's crazy. Now, I studying this song, it really I would not have expected it to be a breakup song about depression. I really thought that there was a person behind this. Have you
Hmm.
ever written a song about a person? Has that how gruesome was that? Was it painful? Was it like this something that's like
um,
cathartic, or was it something that's like once I write this song, I can like get it off my chest, like in Band Aid?
yeah, it feels like getting something off my chest, pretty much. So
Mm.
my song "Start a War" also feels like a breakup song, but it was me breaking up with my best friend at the time, so it wasn't a
Huh.
romantic breakup.
Oh, okay, interesting. Now, your best friend, tell us about that. Do you want to elaborate on this? Okay, if you don't want to.
Well, it was actually funny because he, at the time, this was when I was like pursuing music so hard, but I didn't really have any following or anything. And he was just not a good friend. And he didn't support my music and would like make fun of me sometimes for my music and just like joke that I
Lame.
was never going to make it. And then the song that I wrote about him is the one that made me make it.
Oh
So,
gosh, so he just sucks. Now, when
yeah,
did you
that felt
cut
like
that guy
karma.
off? He doesn't deserve you, by the way.
That was like years ago.
Mm.
Yeah, like maybe 4 years,
Oh wow. Okay, so
whenever
for
that song came out.
like 2020 was actually now over 4 years ago. People are just like, oh, it's 2024. It's now almost 5 years ago. That blows my mind because in
Yeah.
2019, like I feel like my life really started, and as a radio host and the program director of the radio station, I really felt like I was coming into my own, and then COVID. So,
Mm.
um, that is a turning point for all of us. Now we're starting to get back into the groove. Would you say that COVID changed you as a person? Would you have been the same person? Or would you say that fame has changed you in a way? What would you say to your younger self?
What would I say to my older self or my younger self? To say?
Younger self.
Oh,
What would you
um,
say to you back then, who's just starting out for music? What would you say?
I don't, I don't think that COVID changed me
Mm,
much. Maybe a little bit. I feel like it changed everyone, and the big thing was like it changed the whole world and like
absolutely.
society as a whole. So in that way, things were different. But I guess gaining a following definitely changed me for I think the better because before I was so not confident and I didn't have any like um I don't want to have like a big ego, but I didn't have anything at all to even, I didn't even feel like an important human being at all. So, and now
Oh,
that I do, it's like hopefully in a healthy way,
oh
I feel
my.
much more confident in myself.
I'm so sorry that you felt that way. Like, we're all here for you right now. You're on the radio because of your success. So it's so heartbreaking to find that you felt like you weren't important at some point. My dear, that's the opposite. You are very important, clearly, to millions of people who shared your videos. Now, if you think about it, you got like only like maybe a few 100,000 likes. Do you have a million likes on your TikTok yet? You do? That's millions of people. That's a million people that thought that you're special. So I hope that your younger self is a little healed, knowing that there's a reason why. Even though, like Trader Joe's is a kind of an anticlimactic job, but
Mm.
it's a one of those jobs that's like a placeholder for the one that you're going to be when you become one day. And I say, you are not defined by what you've gone through. You are defined by what you become, and you are the poster boy for that quote. You are actually like you know you've been through so much. Now, have you? What is your backstory? Like what is the thing that caused all this pain? If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, my backstory is being raised a Jehovah's Witness and being
Yeah.
gay, and that is just not a thing that works out.
Oh my gosh, I actually have my pride flags in there. I'm asexual. I'm demisexual, which is under the asexual umbrella.
Okay.
And I am gender fluid. So I remember when I first came out as bisexual, that was really emotional for me. But being not being able to say that you still like the other gender and like you just like one gender, that must come with a lot of setbacks, especially being on the East Coast where people are very homophobic. Now, would you say that that has caused some turmoil and you never let that hold you back? I know that. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, that was like I was very depressed as like a teenager, and it definitely all came from that idea of I didn't even know because the religion that I was raised in was so strict that I and like confusing also that I didn't even like know that I was gay. I just felt like I was like wrong or something. Um,
Mm.
and so there was a lot of I guess religious trauma that came from that. And then I kind of slowly deconstructed when I was like 20, religiously deconstructed, and just didn't and realized that I didn't believe in what I was raised to believe anymore. Um, and so that was when I came out and left the religion and started pursuing music.
That's insane. Would you consider yourself Jehovah's Witness anymore?
No,
No.
not at all.
What
Yeah,
is your?
that
What would you say you are now?
all
Are you an atheist? It's okay if you're an atheist.
Um, yeah, I guess agnostic atheist, I would say.
Okay.
Like I'm not
Hey,
confident there's nothing, but I'm not confident there's something, you know?
you know what? Whatever is there loves us and wouldn't judge us just because we have a crush on a dude. You know.
Yeah.
Well, again, this separation from something you've known all your life, you didn't let that stop you, and that's actually something I really wanted to highlight, considering you are this person that has just debuted into the internet just like a slap really fast, and during that time you were struggling on the inside, but you never let that stop you. You still go out and you post, and when you post, you put all of your heart into it. And so, with all the things that you've gone through, would you say that that was one of the most challenging things you've gone through? Like, what drives you? The pain that you feel inside. What is the thing that like pushes that forward when you write?
Yeah, I guess that whole situation with the religion is
Is that like the one?
uh that is like the big thing that inspires a lot of my music. I even
I can
like my
tell.
last album was pretty much a concept album about a character named T that found himself one day locked in a room with no door, no way to get out. And he was stuck in there and lost pretty much all of his memories. And slowly through like journaling, this character tries to go back in time pretty much to remember his life and gets his memories back and to try to figure out why he's in that room, like who put him there and how to get out. And all of it was
Wow.
kind of a metaphor for my childhood, being raised in as a Jehovah's Witness, and like this like mm, very strict religion, cult
Very,
like
it was
religion.
strict. Were they mean to you about it?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's the
Um,
worst. That's the worst spot to be in.
Yeah, so when I came out and left, I wasn't allowed to have any friends outside the religion, so I didn't know anyone
Oh,
or anything. And
oh,
then when
that's
you leave,
tough.
they
That's
shun you. So I was pretty much shunned by my family and friends and everyone that I knew.
Oh, dude. Oh,
So,
that's hard. That's hard. Everyone you've known, love. I was gonna ask, are you friends with anyone? Do you talk to your family? They don't talk to you?
no, I don't have any
Oh,
friends
that's
from my
awful.
childhood.
Look,
Uh,
there's a part of them that loves you. They'll come around one day maybe and they'll join you.
we'll
Don't
see.
lose hope, but I'm so sorry you've lost everybody you love because you decided to embrace yourself. That takes courage. That takes a leap of faith. And I bet a lot of the listeners and a lot of your fans don't even know that side of you. Do you really go into depth about it when you make your videos?
Yeah, so sometimes I do.
You lost
I
everybody. Everybody.
yeah.
Wow. Oh my God. Like you're I can't say the A word on here, but bad, but if you want to say that you are literally your own superhero. So go ahead, like tell us more about this. I want to know. Like this is your lore. This makes you
Yeah, this
you.
is this is my lore. I actually have a lot of lore in my music, and pretty much everything is some sort of metaphor for
Well,
the
you
the
gotta
story
tell
of
us
my
here.
actual
This is
childhood.
you have like at 30 more minutes, maybe 40 more minutes, an hour. This is when you tell
Yeah.
us everything. Tell us the lore. Start from point A to point B, all of
Okay.
it. Detail it.
So I'll just explain my last album,
You have the floor.
TWTD. It is, like I said, this character lost his memories, and pretty much the only thing in the room was this journal. And the more that he journaled to try to like write down his memories, the more that his memories came to him. Um, and it starts off with him remembering his best friend in his childhood, and his best friend is a metaphor for God. And then slowly he starts to like disagree with his best friend, and it just drags on to eventually him um, realizing why he's in the room. This whole thing, it's called T's Diary. I released it for free,
Well,
like electronically, but you
that's
can actually read it,
cool.
and it goes along with the lyrics of like every song in that album is a log in the diary, and then there's more to read with it.
That's the character you've created for this
Yeah, the
person.
character's name is T, just for the album, but spoiler alert, he dies at the end. So this new
Oh
character.
no! You killed him off.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
you never know. You can come back, or maybe you collaborate on a future album. So, the feeling that you had of being cast out by your friends, that's what inspired you to write this, because you did probably feel very trapped.
Yeah, it was
Does
that
he ever
feeling of
get
being
out?
trapped.
Does he ever get out of the room? No.
No, he
Oh, okay.
dies.
So does he die a
So
certain way?
actually,
How does
the
he
whole
die?
reason I did that album, because I don't know how is the S word allowed? The sad word?
Um.
I won't say, but
Oh,
you know what I'm
that one.
saying.
Hey, trigger warning. Just say
Yeah.
unalive. Just
Okay.
yeah,
Fair.
unalive.
The TikTok lingo.
We have said it because we know we're all adults here on this campus. I
Yeah.
have said that I've said it, but nowadays people are. It's gonna become a bad word one day. I think. I think it's a taboo word now. But I've actually struggled with tendencies before, and so that's something that I feel. And I opened up about that when I did my show Recovery Hour about my parents' drug addiction and watching them get clean, and if they ever relapsed, this show would maybe inspire them to continue to get clean again, and how that made me feel at the time of watching them relapse. It kind of it killed something inside, and it made me want to. It was a dark part, but I turned that into love and released the show to help other people who are going through that. So Recovery Hour is all about people who feel like they want to unalive, or people who are relapsing. It's called Recovery Hour for a reason. And so you can talk about those things. Those things are available at KGUR. Be yourself. If you accidentally say, I'll say it, suicide. If you accidentally say suicide, it's okay. People out there need to hear it. There's someone out there that's probably struggling with that, and your success story is going to inspire them to get help. So go ahead and tell us all about it. Go into depth. This is when you do it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So basically, in my teenage years, ever since I was like 16, that's what the feeling I had, the tendencies, and then struggling with self harm from like 16 to 20. Um, and my plan was to unalive myself instead of leave the religion.
Oh,
Um,
that's awful.
and then I kind of just like ended up just not doing that.
I'm so
Um,
happy that you decided not to. I'm so happy for you.
yeah,
It took a
and
lot. It
so
took a lot of bravery and strength. I bet.
thanks.
You're
But
welcome.
there's like a part of me that feels like because sometimes I'll get like paranoia or like delusions, I guess, especially like if I'm tired at nighttime. And I at one point when I was like 22, I kept on having this feeling that I did die in the past when I was going to, and that now I'm just like in some other alternate reality that's showing me what would have happened if
That's
I
exactly how
didn't.
I felt. I don't know what the word is for that, but I
Yeah,
still
there
feel
needs to be
like
a
that
word.
every day. I feel like this is me saying goodbye to my relatives. I don't know how to describe that,
Mm,
but it's,
mm,
I think, I heard someone say that it is your brain recognizing that you decided to stay and the longing to reconcile and what you would have done. It was stronger than your desire to hurt yourself. And so
mm.
I think that people out there can probably really relate to that. I know I can. I can relate to feeling as though I'm, just like slowly saying goodbye or being weaned off of it. And so, do you feel that anymore these days? Does it still come back?
No, I mean I'm feeling a lot better now that I'm me and a person. But that was the whole point of writing the last album was is kind of an ode to people that didn't make it out of especially religion or
Wow.
lost to themselves because of
Well,
the
that brings
pressures of everything against LGBTQ people.
look, there are people out there again who are listening to this who will be inspired to maybe fight off that. So you are doing something for them. Your pain is now turned into being a leader and helping those who are struggling. I hope that heals you in some way. And that's it almost brings a tear in my eye knowing that you struggled with that because you know, I wouldn't have not expected that from you since you have all of this emotion in your songs. Um, have you written any songs about your tendencies or about how which songs would you say that were? Describe the lyrics and how that relates to
Yeah.
this.
So in the last album, that song, there's a song called Sadder Than I've Ever Been, and then I think it's right after that, there's a song called No Hugs. And No Hugs
Aw,
is that song pretty
that's sad.
much.
I have this boo track here. I won't play it right now, but boo! We don't like that.
Yeah, I'd say that song's called No Hugs, but is explicit, so you can't play it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, like, if you do end up releasing a clean version, then we
Yeah,
can.
I should.
We'll play whatever song that you want, and we have the ability to edit out those words, but it's better to have it from the artist directly.
Yeah.
So, and what are the lyrics in that song that says, like, that's the most emotion that you feel in the song? Like, the one that's, like, the hit, the punch.
Um, probably the chorus. It's been a while since I've even listened. So it's no hugs. Oh, I have to cut out the curses. No hugs, no love. I gotta do this myself. Get up, give up instead of calling out for help. If I die, don't cry. No, I won't let you blame yourself.
Wow, I'm looking at the lyrics right now. Yeah. Um, you can't say the S word, but uh, this is. Oh, I'm so sorry that you felt this way. Yeah. Well, I haven't interviewed someone like you yet with all this raw emotion. So you are the first, but I know you probably definitely won't be the last, which is such a sad thing. But I'm so sorry that you felt this way, and that was released on this recent album. That must have been one
Yeah.
of those moments where you're like finally, like getting it off your chest. Is that what was the first song that you released that you'd say is the hardest that for you to write? That I want to know which one was the hardest, at least the first one.
I guess a lot of my music is sad because I wouldn't say that I'm always a sad person, but people that listen to my music think that I must be because
What's your
my music's
astrology
kind of like,
sign? Are you a Scorpio?
no, I'm a Capricorn.
You're Cap. Oh my gosh, you're a Capricorn? Wait, hold on. I hope you don't have a problem. I'm a Gemini, so
Okay.
we're good. Capricorns. They always. I never. I haven't met a Capricorn that wasn't depressed at some point, but I wouldn't expect this deep dark part of you. That means you defy all of that. So that's just you. That's the sadness that you feel inside. That has nothing to. They can't blame it on your astrology sign.
Yeah, I can blame it on my childhood.
Oh gosh, that sucks. But you with this very down to earth, you can really look at your emotions for what they are. That's a gift. And so again, what you were saying before was the first song that you feel like was the one that you
Oh,
like. Yeah.
um, maybe a song called Narcissism.
Mm.
It's I don't know, a lot of my early music also was sad, but I was insecure about being vulnerable, so I'd write in a lot of metaphors so that it seems like it's not about sad stuff, but it would be.
Mm.
um, but yeah, narcissism probably.
Okay. And so does the name that your stage name Taunted, what does that
Mhm.
mean to you? What does the name Taunted mean to you? Like
Yeah,
what made you
so
choose that?
my name came from this whole idea of when I was raised that way, and uh, I always wanted to pursue music. Like music was what I always felt like I was good at. I was always able to impress my friends by just hearing a song and then playing it on guitar. Um, and I always thought that like being an artist would be the coolest thing, and that I wasn't allowed to do it because of the religion. Like you're not allowed to in that
Really? They're
religion.
not
You're
you're
not
not allowed
allowed
to
to.
you're not allowed to do anything when it comes to music and if you're Jehovah's
Well,
Witness?
so you could like make music in a way, but like maybe be a producer or be in the background. But if you want to do anything that kind of attracts a lot of attention to yourself,
Mm.
um, they would say that you're trying to become an idol
Oh,
and
I
shame you
didn't
for that. So I didn't
really.
really ever think of it as an option, and it was the thing that I wanted to do the most in my life,
Mm.
and the thing that I felt that I was the best at. So I was like, what is one word that can describe this situation? And it was that I felt like I was being taunted by not being able to do this one thing that I felt like I'm destined for in a way. And so I go by taunted.
That's incredible. I cannot imagine a better name for you. Find it so rare to find people, just throughout the day, even in the music industry, who see that as poetic. T.S. Eliot poetic, to have this romantic relationship with music itself, and to feel tempted and taunted to pursue that, and ended up giving in. Now that right there, you could write a book about that. I don't even know how you're not. You must be famous for that. Do they know that? Do your listeners know that that's why
uh,
you? I think they could
I
feel it.
don't
When I
think.
heard taunted, I definitely felt like your soul was taunted by your own emotion, and that the struggle with wanting something that you can't have and having to say goodbye to all these people. I could feel that when I heard the name taunted. So it's
Mm,
haunting. It haunts people. It's like a phantom.
yeah.
So do they know that?
No, I don't think that most of my fans know any of my backstory, but some of them definitely do. Um, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, the real fans will come here and they'll find out. I'm so happy
Yeah.
that I get to help you like let out those things. Now, there's that's incredible, by the way. Your story is very impactful. So I there's a couple of questions that we've already answered, but some of them are, for instance, like what is your favorite song that you've released, and also if you can go back in time and rewrite a song differently, which one would it be? Like, are these? Would you say that they are where you want to be, or like now that it's out there, I can't change it, but I wish I could? Which song would you say that is the most
Huh.
prominent?
I don't think I've had that feeling of, oh, I wish that I could change any part of a song, but I guess in the way that say in my recent song, it's not super recent, it's like a year old maybe,
Hmm.
but the song Unwell, I and the love interest in the song, I say he, and I think that I was a little bit scared to do that more at the beginning of my writing. I was scared to like be obviously gay in my music, so I would kind of just write it in a way that was like, I don't know, and what a lot of pop music does, where they try to make everyone feel like it's about everyone instead of being specific.
Oh, well, like
um,
you don't know, you never know. You don't want to round it out because someone actually, you could be bringing up a situation that people don't know they can relate to. So you do want to
mhm,
add that difference to it. The Beatles did it. Um,
yeah,
but like if you never know if somebody is struggling or how many people out there are struggling with a specific situation. But I
mhm.
understand your desire to make it popular. I never think that you should apologize for who you are. But I understand your decision to do that. And so the person behind Unwell, now pulling up the lyrics, Unwell, how long did it take you to write Unwell? And would you say that's the highlight of everything?
I think Unwell.
I'm
It's
not
hard.
crazy, I'm
I think I
just a
wrote
little
it.
unwell.
I think I wrote it like 2 years ago. It's hard to remember the specifics, but I feel like I wrote it really quickly.
Huh. And
Um,
would you say that it comes naturally for you? Would you be able to like write a song and produce it today, or would you say you need at least a week to do it? Are because you're a
um,
musical prodigy, you taught yourself. So,
it's crazy. Some songs, it's like it took me over a year to write one, but then like two of my albums ago, I think there's a song called Cynical and a song called Another Day, and I wrote both of those in 2 days. Like one I wrote one day and one I wrote literally the next day, and I finished them both in 2 days.
huh.
So it's very different.
What are those two songs about? What are those about?
Oh, so Another Day is a love song, and I've
Hmm.
I've only ever really released two love songs, and I've decided that I will probably never do it again. Because two
Well,
weeks after I've only been in two relationships ever.
hmm.
One for 5 years, one for 2 years. I think it
Oh.
was 2 weeks after I released the first love song that relationship ended. And I'm pretty
Aw.
sure it was either 2 or 3 weeks after I released the next one that relationship ended. So I'm like, maybe my love
Oh,
songs are cursed.
damn. Life was really after you then. Like karma for real. You did not deserve that
Yeah.
karma. So, do you have a boo right now? Like, is there somebody you don't have a boo? Do you have a boo? You
There's
have
someone
a
I like,
couple of,
but I
couple
don't
of,
have anything official.
oh, well, well, who's the lucky guy? Like,
I'm in
do you
my
have,
single era.
oh, so, like, what makes you decide on the people that you choose? Like, well, you getting a little frisky here, but
I don't know. I've been the absolute worst at choosing so far, so I don't know.
huh. Well, you, when you're a pop star and when you're famous, you never want to settle with a relationship because you're never going to be able to make them happy going on tour and stuff like that.
Mm.
He's going to get
Unless I
jealous all
take
the
them
time of
with
all the
me.
people that love you. So, playing the single game while you're young and you're in your mid to late 20s, that's like the perfect time. But it's good to know that at least you got a couple of the people there. Like, are you happy with these people or so they do it for you?
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm okay.
Okay, well, I mean, like, no shame. I'm single too, and the reason
Yeah.
why is because I'm very career oriented, but I
Mm.
break hearts so much. I'm just a committophobe. I'm a committophobe, and people hate me for that. Like my exes. But
I
I'm not
may
gonna get into
be
that.
currently that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, if they're just gonna have to deal with you being a superstar, like, this is a part of it. This is why so many people end up in divorce in Hollywood. It's because you're surrounded by too many hot people. This is difficult. You're now that you're in high demand because you're famous. Now you're gonna have all these fanboys, and like they're gonna be after you all the time. You're never gonna be able to make your partner happy, really. Now, would you say that you struggle with having all these people like all the time at you? Like, is it bringing a sense of fear being famous, or would you say that you like the
No,
attention?
I
Have
wouldn't.
you ever had, like a crazy fan or something?
No, I haven't had like anything crazy.
Really? Oh,
Yeah, I mean, I've been noticed. The craziest time I've been noticed was I was at the airport,
no.
and
The air. Oh,
um,
where were you flying? Was it a big airport?
I was flying to Canada,
Mm.
to Niagara Falls, and
Oh.
there was this police officer that kept looking at me, and then he started following me, and I was like, oh no, like what did I do wrong? And I was
Getting
scared.
pulled over?
And
Did you have some za
yeah,
with you, or?
no. And then he was like, are you that rapper? And I was like, oh my God.
Oh my gosh, he literally outed you in front of everyone. Like, oh, this kid, did he ask for a picture?
No, he
No?
didn't even ask for a picture, but then like 5 minutes later he DM'd me on Instagram, and I was like, that's really cool that he because usually when people notice me or like in public, they'll be like, I think I know you from something, but I don't know what it is. But he like remembered Taunted and like messaged me, and I was like, that's funny.
Oh. Oh, well, so,
But I'm
like,
not like super famous. I could go anywhere and I'm usually fine.
that's gonna change. You look, you could really blow up tomorrow. Look what happened to Chapel. Poor girl.
Yeah, it's true. It's weird because if I have a video go viral, then for like that month I'll get noticed, but then people just forget immediately. Like if
Oh,
I
they
have
don't
like videos
forget.
not do well,
They don't forget. They
well,
don't
they won't
forget. They
notice
will
you.
remember. There's a digital footprint. That's what it's called. Beware of
True.
that. But like it really doesn't matter. There are people that are listening to your streams. Now, how many streams do you get? Like a month? That's really depends. That really is what founds your fame. Is how many people actively go to your
Yeah,
music.
actively listen. I get like a little bit over 1 million streams a month on Spotify.
Oh well, there you go. I would say at least you've reached a tier of fame that is more than an average YouTuber. A YouTuber, you can be a YouTuber after 50,000 subscribers, and also like if you get maybe around, I don't think 20K. I think you need to get more views than that, but that establishes yourself as an entity online. I have
Mm.
friends that are YouTubers, and they say that they don't really recognize you unless you have like 100K on each video. But after a certain tier you reach, you're famous. They would consider you famous. So I would consider you famous after hearing, like, 1 million seems like a lot. To others, it may not seem like a lot. It may
Yeah.
not. There may be this like, oh well, I'm not this, I'm not this, but you know, you can't say that isn't impressive. That's for sure.
I don't feel famous. Yeah.
Aw, you're famous. You are. He's being modest. You got millions of people that really love to hear your voice. And there's a couple other questions that I really want to get into because we have lots of time. Just saying, we do have a lot of time. But there's just some things. Now, rap music, I did want to ask if you like feel like rap music is like the one for you, but I guess you don't ever feel like you have to like blend into what people like, right? Is rap music
No.
your favorite? Is it your calling, would you say?
No, I feel like rapping, I wouldn't call myself a rapper. Some people do. I don't
Would
know.
you say that rap music is like the one that helps you get out the most that you want to say, you know?
Yeah, I guess when I write, a lot of times the way that um the flow of something that I'll write, I'll be like, I don't think I can sing this. I feel like it has to be like faster with the rhythm. So I
Huh.
think I just naturally write in a rappy style, but usually for like a chorus, it's something that I want to try to sing.
Yeah, yeah, I've noticed. And so Band-Aid, you would consider that singing because I feel like the chorus is very rappy-ish.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. It's both. It's sing rappy. I don't know.
Well, it's very unique. People create new genres. Like, cause I actually interviewed the lead singer of Tally Hall, and he's now a good friend of mine. And he described his debut into music and their lack of a genre because it's this huge debate for Tally Hall and what genre they are. He said that they dove in not wanting a genre and wanting to just
Mm.
combine all genres into one. And now that would technically be considered alternative and indie because independent is like, just you're your own thing, and alternative is just a term that means unclassified in music.
Yeah,
So alternative is means a combination of everything. So that means that technically you're an alternative artist. You're not a rapper.
yeah.
21 Pilots is also a rock band, you
Mhm.
know? And
They're like
so,
alt rock.
yes, I would say alternative because they combine so many things together. And that's what Tally Hall does. Tally Hall also raps in their music. Joe Hawley, which is the guy I interviewed, he raps. That's like, that's what he does in his songs, like, I wouldn't say the bidding is, but Anyways, so rap isn't like your thing, but it's something you like to do?
Yeah, it's like 21 Pilots that you just mentioned. There were like in my teenage years, there I was
Oh,
obsessed.
you're the 21 Pilots.
Like,
I love 21 Pilots. I like 21
yeah,
Pilots.
I just saw them like last weekend or two or
Really?
three weekends ago for the 13th time. So
Well, was it? It was. Did you have fun? Like,
yeah, it was great.
yeah.
For me now at this point, they're not my favorite band anymore.
Mm.
They're my nostalgia teenage year band because I saw them the first time I saw them. I think there was like a room of 500 people, and
Hmm.
now I just saw them sell out Wells Fargo for 40,000. Like it's insane.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like 21 Pilots, they've come in and out, especially since Tyler had a kid and stuff like that. They all got
Mm,
married, and
yeah.
so I guess that would be your inspiration is for artists. When it comes to other musicians, what would you say that your inspirations are? Like, what musicians like? I want to be like that guy.
Probably my biggest inspiration for when I've started to really produce my own music is John Bellion.
Hmm. John Billion.
He's someone who produces and writes for a lot of other people. Like he just did Justin Bieber's album and Tori Kelly and Jonas Brothers, but he also has his own music.
Mm.
And he's definitely a huge inspiration that made me want to actually learn how to produce music for myself.
Okay. Oh, nice, nice. So you would say that he's like a huge inspiration, like somebody that you want to emulate.
Yeah,
Do you,
definitely.
do you like the Beatles? Like, do you like any classics, or is it like just?
Yeah, I like classics too. When I was younger, not that they're a classic, but Audio Slave
Oh, oh my!
was
Wait,
like
you like Audio Slave? I love Audio
audio.
Slave. Really, we have
Yeah.
an Audio Slave album over here.
Oh,
Like
really?
we got one of the first copies of the self-titled titled Audio Slave. I grew
Oh,
up with
that's so
Audio
cool.
Slave. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
But
My favorite guitarist is Tom Morello, and
oh my
I'm just always
gosh.
obsessed with
Nice.
him.
Oh, rest in peace, Chris Cornell. Was a bucket list for
Mm,
me to see him, but he passed away.
yeah.
And so, what's your favorite song on that album? I love Like a Stone is my favorite. That's like my
Like a
dad and
Stone is
I.
my favorite like
I
all-time song.
that's my favorite. That's my all-time favorite too. I love Like a Stone. Like that is the
Mm,
song. I've known it all throughout my childhood. I just listened to Like a Stone, and also Doesn't Remind Me is a great one. My dad
mm,
loved Audio Slave, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and there's a couple of others. I listen to Cat Stevens a lot.
mm.
That's like I would say Cat Stevens is like mine. But so when did you start listening to Audio Slave? I wouldn't have expected
Yeah,
your
that was
family
also
to
when I
be
was like
allowing you to listen to that. Did they allow that? Is that
well,
theirs?
I guess I
Hmm.
don't feel like people know what Audio Slave's music is about because
Yeah.
Show Me How to Live and Like a Stone were my two favorite songs
Bro, I
for
love that
of like my
song.
childhood.
Yes,
And I didn't
yes.
realize that they're about religious trauma stuff until
That is true.
like last year.
Yeah, that's something that he doesn't really talk about. Tyler Joseph, also from Tony and Pilots, all that stuff is also about faith,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, you know
Hmm.
about that. I actually did a
Yeah.
show that's available someplace. I don't know. It's on rotation here. It's a deep dive analysis into 21 Pilots and like
Oh, I know
why
all
they're a
the lore.
Christian rock band and why that's not a bad thing and things like that. And so there are Breaking Benjamin too. They're all about like religion. And as someone who I would say I've suffered a lot in the Catholic Church, so I would never consider myself Catholic, but I am Greek Orthodox because Greek Orthodox is the most accepting and loving religion. Like my priest has
Mhm.
kids, and most people in my church are they're gay like me. I'm gay. So
Nice.
that's why I like being Greek Orthodox, but not everybody has that opportunity. And so when people hear Christianity, they hear like you are a bad person. But
Mhm.
you have artists like Breaking Benjamin who they're connected to God because they need a sign, they need somebody to turn to, and that's all they have.
Yeah, I
And
think everybody has to believe in something.
so that's why I like Audio Slave. I love Like a Stone. The lyric about that a book full of death, reading I will die alone. That's like he's
Mm.
talking about the Bible, isn't he? Yes.
Yeah.
And so I think his music is very impactful. So those a bit of that's your inspiration. And what was the song that like wait what music do you listen to when you're writing songs like Band Aid and Unwell? Like, is there a song that you kind of like heard and you're just like, I think I could do something with this?
No, I try to not do that.
Mm,
Um,
okay.
I
Yeah.
try to, well, usually I'll just write on acoustic guitar, like I'll just find some chords that I like, and then from there I might, sometimes I write the whole song just acoustically, but sometimes I'll start producing it up around the guitar with a beat and bass and everything.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
but yeah, my goal is never to sound like anything else.
Yeah, yeah, it's very important to bring something new to the table when it comes to the music industry because, if you copy other people, then it's just going to be itself on repeat. You don't know if they're copying
Yeah.
somebody. So originality is this huge thing for you, and I love that because you accomplish it so well. And so some of the other questions I have here that I know that the audience is definitely going to want to know is, um, like, what is your? I want to ask what your favorite song is that you've released, but
Mm.
also want to know, you know, because we know the passion and emotion that drives you when you're writing music. But is there one that takes over? Is it sadness or is it anger? And out of all the songs that you've released, which one do you feel like is the most you? Like your favorite? Like you love that one?
Um, hmm. Okay, that was a few good questions. I don't know which one to answer first.
Just go ahead, let your mind talk.
My favorite song, or a song that feels the most me, I
Hmm.
would say my favorite, and probably the one I think is most me, is maybe I Don't Think That I'm Okay. And it's a song that features an artist named Nick D.
Nick D.
And yeah, he's a really big TikTok artist. And that whole
Oh,
story of how we wrote that song together and how that all happened is
hey, that's
crazy.
cool. You wrote it with
um,
him? That's nice.
so I wrote that song at like 2 a.m. I just couldn't sleep, and I there was like a weird little verse that I made, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna put this in a song, but I just posted it on TikTok, and it got like 200,000 or 300,000 views. And then Nick D said, "Hey," like he was someone that I was a huge fan of for like a few months at
Nice.
that point, and he wasn't following me or anything, so I didn't think that we would ever work together. And then from he saw that video, followed me, and then messaged me immediately and gave me
Whoa.
his number. And then like 5 minutes
Oh
later, we're
man.
FaceTiming,
Oh,
and my
that
face
is
was turning
so
completely
cool.
red.
That
Like
is
my face was so
cool.
red. I was like, I couldn't look at
Oh
you.
man. That
And
must have
then
been the
he,
moment for you. Like, were you absolutely like, like
yeah, it
you were
was crazy. And I was
fangirling.
like,
Did
I
he
don't know
know?
what he wants.
Do you think he knows that you
Yeah.
were fangirling? Do you think he
No,
knows
I
a
think he
little?
definitely does. I was like hiding. I put the phone like away from me. But
Oh
then
man.
he's like, can I put a verse on that song? And I was like, yes. And then literally 2 hours later, he sent me the verse. I mixed it into the song. The next day, I got up at 5 a.m., drove all the way to West Virginia where he lives, and then we filmed the music video.
Oh my, you just got up and drove. Like, honestly,
Yeah,
there are people that I would drop everything for, but that was like,
yeah.
I'll be there tomorrow. Like,
That's exactly what it was. I was like,
I'm
I'm
having
not letting you
surgery
change your mind.
tomorrow.
I'm
My
going now.
pancreas is being removed, but forget that. I'm gonna go film this. Wow,
Yeah.
that must have been so cool. Now, how long ago was that?
That
That.
was probably 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah, three maybe.
Oh
It was
man.
like it was really all a blur. That
He
happening in like
he's
2 days
he's
was crazy.
he may hear this interview and find out how bad you were fangirling. Are you
No,
shameless now? You just
I gotta block him right now so he can't see.
well, you just let it out that you were like so like do you have a poster and t-shirts, like the merch, like all the whole
Well, he
embarrassing
gave
shebang?
me yeah, a sweatshirt and a hat I still have of his that he gave
Oh.
me.
Oh, you know what? If people said like I was a huge fan of Loch Nessie, and then she messaged me, I would be very flattered. So he's probably think it's precious, but
Yeah.
that's
He's just
super
too cool
cool.
for me. I can't talk to him.
Well, you never know. Maybe he feels the same way about you, and he just hasn't said anything. You don't know. Um, it's pretty cool. I think it's rad that you were able to like actually like get the attention of your. Now, I don't know who you're talking about, by the way. Um, so
Yeah,
like,
you
who
might
is
know
this
some of his
guy? What does
music.
he do? Like, what's his name again?
His name is Nick D.
Nick
He has a
D.
podcast with his friend Cakes called The Freddie Show.
I'm googling it shamelessly.
So
So Nick
they have like
D.
10 million views on just the podcast alone because it's like a very funny TikTok style podcast,
Oh yeah, he's
and then he makes
got
his music on the side.
Oh, he's got 2 mil. It's not that bad. He doesn't have a knowledge panel though. So, looking up Nick D, nothing is coming up. And so I'm assuming it's this guy with the beard and the glasses. Is that?
Yeah,
That's
he
oh,
looks
that's
kind of like
him.
me.
Oh, yeah. I guess he is kind of well known. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
there he is, and he's verified like me. So pretty cool stuff. That's rad. That's awesome. And so again, like he could finally hear. I can see it. I can see him fangirling, like, oh my god, Taunted is gonna answer the phone right now. I'm so scared, like
all
shaking.
right.
That's cool. And so he's one of your like all time. And so that leads me into another question I wanted to ask, and that is, what is it like working with these other artists? What was the first collab that you feel like really defined you as a creator online and also a musician? Like the one that's like the one. And then
Yeah,
also tell
my
me about like all these, I guess these other people that you work with. Like, what's it like?
yeah, I haven't really worked with that many people. I've worked with Nick D. I've worked with a band called Young Rising Suns, and I worked with an artist named Nash. And Nash was he was the first person that reached out to me. It was like the day after
Hmm.
my video, my Trader Joe's video went viral.
Mm.
He followed me and messaged me and was like, "Hey, let's write a song." He was like, I I
Who's
loved
Nash?
listening to him when I was in high school.
Oh,
He has the "I Hate You, I Love You, I Hate That I Love You" song, and then
yeah.
"Lights Down Low" with Max and him together. He
Yeah,
has
I
like
have no
a
idea who you're
billion
talking
streams on one of
about.
his songs. Yeah, I'm sure that you know it. But
If you played it for me, I'd probably be able to know. But I
yeah.
mean, like, it's not coming up. So I mean, like, tell me more about that. Like, so what was your first collaboration?
Yeah, it was that. So
That was your
it was
first.
just it was a song just for me. I didn't know if he was gonna be featured or anything, but he lives in LA. I literally flew out to LA to write with him,
Oh, cool.
and it was just crazy
That's
because he's an
nice.
artist that I listened to in high school a lot, and then all of a sudden I was like, I'm in his
Oh,
room.
nice,
I was
nice.
like, I'm in
Oh,
his bedroom, like studio.
oh wow, that was crap. I almost said that's crazy, man. Oh man.
Yeah, that
And so you
that
were
was really
like
cool.
you've been so who else in Hollywood do you just like bucket list person you want to meet? I guess you've met quite a few of your idols. Who's next on this
Um,
list of people that want to collab?
oh,
Like,
I don't know. I don't really think about it much because I don't ever try to reach out to people to
oh,
collab. I just wait for them to reach to me.
oh, that's cool.
But John Bellion would probably be,
John Bellion.
yeah, if
Yeah.
he would even just help
What
produce or
about
write a song. That would just be so cool.
that would be cool. Oh, okay, well, hit him up. Taunted wants to collaborate with you, Bellion. I don't know if he's listening. He probably will. He'll hear it one day. So now he knows. Now he knows to reach out with you. So,
Thank you.
like stay
It's
tuned when we get
legally
our
obligated.
update from Taunted. He's gonna tell us if he finally got a message or not. Um, and so what like celebrities like A-list musician celebrities would you want to meet? Because there are a couple that I've always wanted to meet, but like I actually know some celebrities already, so it's kind of like when I meet them, it's kind of like I'm meeting a colleague that I've heard a lot about, and so
Yeah.
that must feel like the same to you because you know what I'm talking about now. It's
Yeah,
like
I
it's a
guess
at this
that's the
point.
thing about like fame is I'm not that I'm famous, but like
Oh, you
viewing
are.
people that are famous, I view it very differently now. Like the
Yeah.
people that I like idolize, I can't even idolize anymore because I'm like I feel
Right.
closer to them in a way, which is kind of weird.
Somebody put into words like
Um,
I have the same thing. That's my issue.
yeah, like one of the biggest people that I met besides Nash was, oh well, Jason Mraz was following me on TikTok at one point. That was cool.
Oh, nice. Oh,
But
yeah, I've heard of him. Yeah.
the guy, Jake, JVKE, the Golden Hour guy,
Oh, yeah, I've heard of
um,
him.
yeah,
Yeah.
he just like randomly followed me and put me in his close friends, and then
Oh,
invited me to his after party for his first show ever in New York
oh,
City,
cool.
and
Was it like
I met him, and that was just really cool.
nice? Was it fun? Did you have fun?
Yeah, it was cool.
Did you go backstage and stuff?
I wasn't backstage, but I hung out under the stage with him and his
Oh,
friends, which is just like funny. He's like this little Christian boy. He's
is
not
he?
little.
Oh, he's
He's
a Christian
literally
boy.
So I'm 6'4", and he's the only person in my life that has ever made me feel short. I think he's almost 7 foot tall. It's insane.
Wow, that must have been a shocker. So when you meet them,
Yeah.
like what was the biggest like wow that you just wouldn't have known? For people who aren't listening, something that you definitely would have like I wish people knew this. Like once you found out, you're just like I didn't know that. What was the one
Well,
thing meeting all these
about
people that you were surprised
oh,
by?
I think that anyone, no matter how famous they are, they're a human being. Like no one can be that impressive. It's just like we're just people.
Yeah,
I
well,
don't know. Fame is like a facade.
kind of. I
So
mean,
once you
no,
see through it, you
like
see.
you can't keep saying you're not famous because you are. You're pretty famous, and that's a good thing. I mean, now you're on the radio, so
Yeah,
you
that's
know
cool.
that I'm on the radio every day, so it's different for me. But it's also something that's a big deal for you, and now you're on the radio for a second time, and so your music has been played on 2 radio stations now. Are you on rotation on that other radio station? Would you say?
Um, I I'm on rotation in Australia.
Oh, oh, that's random.
I have no idea why or how,
Yeah,
but there was
that's
people that messaged me in Australia. They're like, "Oh, you keep playing on the radio." And it's like one of my really early songs.
Really, that's actually kind of random to me that it's playing in Australia. We have a lot
Yeah.
of listeners internationally for some reason. The UK, Ireland, Scotland, and Brazil. I keep seeing this one area in like the UK that's just like a very large center of 30 people, and I don't know which city this town this is, but I guess High, a small town in UK. It's so random to see the people that you reach now that you're like it's
Yeah.
weird to see all the people. Like I guess hi Brazil, hi New Zealand, I don't know. Like
Yeah.
it's just
Well,
it's weird. It's interesting. But I guess it must be pretty surreal, huh?
yeah, your station is great if everyone's tuning in from everywhere. That's so cool.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing about us. These are the news clippings that are on the door here are just detailing when we decided to in 2009 to migrate online. We used to broadcast with IBM, and we still do, and so I actually do my stuff with IBM and Ustream. But again, we were one of the first radio stations to like do on the airwaves and also online, and then upload our shows.
Mhm.
And when we did that, we opened up the door not just to FM radio is more powerful than AM, but AM is very local. FM you can reach farther, but beyond FM, a radio station had never really done that, and so that was new for us to get listeners because we could send them a link to it. And it's not new for someone to be able to go to a website and tune in because they put the link there. For all radio stations do that.
Yeah.
But it was different for us because that was one of the like set ways that we're streaming. We have a webcam in here and everything. So opening up the door to all these different places, it was revolutionary for us. And we actually record our shows and re-upload them. It's called Going Ghost, and all radio stations do this. You may not know this, but I was actually down at Santa Barbara's radio station at Santa Barbara University, and also Cal Poly's radio station, and there's not always somebody in the booth, believe it or not. There's not. And so when you don't have a radio host for that hour, radio hosts really just record their shows and upload them. Before you can get in the booth in several places, you have to record your show remotely in one of the recording booths and then upload it. And then after a few times, then they'll like let you, but just like they're very hesitant. And so, we uploaded our shows because we have already been recording them. And that really helped us when it came to streaming. But then, like Spotify podcasts and all these things opened up. And so all these recordings that we've had dating back to 2014, all 120 of our shows, we decided to upload them on, Anchor emailed me, or like Spotify, and like I think it was Amazon Podcast, Amazon Music emailed me, and they wanted our shows on there, which was kind of interesting. It was when they first launched a few years ago.
Yeah. That's
And
cool.
they were just like, hey, do you want to upload your shows? I was like, okay, well, people could just tune in, but whatever. And now we're more popular because of all these mediums. So radio is just now everywhere. It is so interesting to see the evolution. People think that radio has died, but it has not. It's stronger than ever.
Mhm.
And so
Yeah.
Not only are you being heard on frequency, on the streaming, but you're also being heard on all these other platforms like iHeart. Are you on iHeartRadio yet? Do you know if your stuff is on iHeart?
I think that I am. I don't
No,
even know how
I.
to check that.
So do you have a record label? You don't DistroKid this stuff? No.
I DistroKid.
You DistroKid? Oh, you're DistroKid.
Yeah,
Ah,
I didn't
that's
sign
okay.
to a
And
record
no
label. I'm
shame. I
fully
know a
independent.
lot of very successful artists. Like there's this
Yeah.
one that's like I literally don't exist. I'm gonna interview with them at some point. They're the one that I don't really know how to describe their TikToks, but I hate you but thank you. Uh, I got a message from back from them, and they decided they want to do an interview with me, but you know. Um, that's kind of interesting. They told people there, oh yeah, we're on distro. I'm doing DistroKid. I do that, and they got millions of followers. So like, it's not a shame to do DistroKid. It's
Yeah.
smart. It's smart to get yourself out there. But does your record label set on your behalf?
I actually never signed to a record label. I'm fully independent.
Really? Oh, yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
was
so
close.
cool. That's so cool of you that you were able to
Yeah.
get to the level of success you are without a record label. That's
Hmm.
insane. So, are
Thanks.
you interested in going to a record label? Because they'll boss you around. You can really do your own thing right now. You may want to wait a
Yeah,
little while.
I like that I could do my own thing. I don't know. It depends. I would have to get a really good deal.
Yeah, they're
I
gonna need to
wouldn't.
respect that you have a brand and you have a set a direction of where
Yeah.
you're going.
At this point, it's like I have my own stuff, so I'm not like, what can I offer you? I'm like, what can you offer me?
Right. Yeah, they need to respect you as an artist and not try to change who you are because they will. And when you sign the contract, you can't say no. So
Yeah,
really
true.
keep doing it. And that's my advice to give as a radio host. My advice to give in this day and age. Other musicians, don't be afraid to use DistroKid because
Hmm.
that's what all the really successful people are doing there. And the more that you wait for a record label to just notice you, the more time you're passing that you could be on DistroKid. And
Yeah,
so I think with DistroKid, now I'm not sure. I think you can be on iHeartRadio. I'm not entirely.
I
Can you?
I think that I saw recently that I could click iHeartRadio, and I think I've been doing that.
Do they need an approval for that? Because either way, you're still going to be on iHeartRadio because this goes up on iHeartRadio. It goes up everywhere.
Oh,
So
cool.
this interview is going to be everywhere. That's pretty cool, isn't it? You're already everywhere though. I there's a couple other questions. Just because I want to make sure that we don't run out of time.
Yeah,
And
it's
I'm
been like
looking
an
at the
hour and
recording.
15.
Yeah, hour 15. We have 15 more minutes.
Okay.
And by the way, you can always do another interview if you'd like. We'll do a
Cool.
follow up in a little bit after you release the stuff that you're gonna release. So,
Right.
um, uh, there's a couple others, and no, you answered what inspires you the most, and what was it like working with this other artist. Now, what in your personal life? Tell us about the man behind the music. Like, who is Taunted really? Now, I'm not gonna say your name, but we want to know who he is.
The
Who
secret.
he is. Who are you? What
um,
take me in a day in the life of you, and also I want to know how many instruments you can play and what's the highest note you can hit. Those are the you need to answer that before we
I
end.
don't know the highest note I can hit. I'm like the only singer that doesn't know his range. I went into a studio once, and the producers they were like, "Oh, what's your range?" And I was like, "Oh, I make music alone. I don't know that."
Oh man! So
I
you
was
taught yourself
embarrassed.
to sing. You do so well.
Yeah,
So
thanks.
do you have any musical background?
No, besides YouTube. No one in my family
Wow.
can
No, he is
sing.
self-taught, everybody. You are seeing one that's in the wild and natural habitat, self-taught. Unapologetic too. And so take me in a day in the life of you.
I wake up, I take care of my puppy,
Oh, you have a puppy? What's his name?
Benji.
Oh, Benji. Oh, cute. How old is he?
He's now 1.5.
Aw. What's the type? What kind of dog is he?
He's a Labradoodle.
A Labradoodle?
Yeah,
Oh, cute.
that's my baby. I
Uh,
take care of him, and then I make breakfast.
mm,
I Love coffee. I used to be a barista, so I make
Mm.
myself a iced caramel latte with oat milk every morning.
Nice. Was it Starbucks? Did you work at Starbucks? A lot of people.
No,
Yeah.
I
Mm.
make it. I just make it in my latte
Well,
machine.
like when you were barista, did you work at Starbucks or did you work at a
Oh, I
local?
worked at Starbucks, yeah, and then I worked at another local coffee shop
Nice, nice. Hey, I
in New
love
Jersey. Yeah, so
baristas. The coffee is an art form for several
true.
people.